Okay. Okay, there we go. I believe someone just pointed out that they didn't hear anything, but hopefully you can now. So, so far we're off to a great start. But I appreciate that. It's because I had it muted on my streaming software, and I forgot to unmute it. So, again, I'm just learning. I'm brand new to streaming, but I'm learning a lot as we go. But again, a little bit about myself. This whole thing is supposed to this particular stream is supposed to introduce me and what I plan on accomplishing on this channel. Essentially, so let me start. Let me start off by saying, some of my interests. I really love anime. I really love this background. It's kind of like a Japanese cherry blossom type of thing going on. And if you know me in real life, you know that that is my jam, and you can tell because I'm also wearing it here. But I love anime, cars. I grew up working on American cars, but moved into Japanese cars. I drive a Subaru WRX, but that's not what this channel is about. But that is something about me. I like I like playing video games when I have the time, so I'm hoping I can branch out into video games. What I'm going to be doing on here is essentially a video game, but it's like a hacking game. It's to learn about ethical hacking and penetration testing of machines and servers and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to do a lot of educational videos, and I hope to build a community of people who are also interested in that, or at least want to learn, or find it really entertaining, even if they don't want to do anything with it. The way I'll be doing it is essentially just like a game. So I think that that's the coolest part about it, is that it is very much so a game, and we'll be learning as we go, and I hope that my community can learn with me. I hope my community that I build here on Twitch will also help me learn. If they know more than I do, I'd love to hear about tricks, tips, and things like that. So yeah, and then so I got a degree in mathematics and computer science, and then in the last year, or sorry, the last 2 years really, but especially in the last year, I focused on cybersecurity and hacking, as well as encoding and cryptography. And I think cryptography is like the coolest thing. I could nerd out about it. It's all about hidden messages and leaving things in plain sight, or relatively in plain sight, and having to decode them. And I think that's really cool. Again, it's like a puzzle. So that's a little bit about me. I got my degree in mathematics with a minor in computer science. So I can code. I know C sharp. I know C++. That's what I started off in. I know C sharp, or C, sorry, not C sharp. C and Python. I also know Linux. A fair bit about Linux. Of course, there's more to know, but you can always learn more. But I know like the very basics, which I'll demonstrate a little bit here in a bit, and a tiny bit of Unix. I'm learning more. Oh, and I also know assembly code, and all that stuff, and anything that you would learn in a systems class about binary, essentially. So in school, I focused on computational mathematics. So even though my degree is in math, it's very heavy on the computer science side of things, and proofs are. I did study a lot of proofs, and I made sure to take a lot of comprehensive math, which more focuses on proof and theory, because I wanted to be well rounded. But my actual major is mathematics computational. So that's a little bit about that. I love learning, and I love sharing what I learn. I have taught swing dance. I was president of my college's swing dance club, and I still enjoy learning. I am a decent dancer, but I could be so much better. I've seen amazing dancers, so I'm always trying to learn. There's always more to learn. And then I've also been doing jujitsu for quite a while now. Still pretty low ranked, but that's partially because I tend to pick it up and put it back down because life gets messy and all that. But I've helped people learn about jiu-jitsu. I've helped people learn about swing dance. And I've also been the founder and president of my college's American Sign Language Club, because I love sign language and I love teaching it. So if you're here to learn, be entertained, and have fun, that's exactly what I hope to accomplish here, because I love all those things. I kind of fall into teaching roles. I don't really mean to, but they present themselves and I just jump at them. I find that I learn even more by helping others learn as well. I tend to learn a lot more about my interests and the things that I'm interested in by teaching others. So it's kind of the point of this channel. And then just building things. Earlier today, I was building something. I designed a headboard for my bed that I made myself, and I decided I wanted to change it up after like a year of having it one way. So I busted out the saw and the drill and got to it, and it's almost done now. I love like working on cars, grinding away at code, building different software, things like that. So I just love the puzzle and the challenge of things like that, whether it's picking up a saw and working on something, or getting at the keyboard and grinding away at trying to own a machine. So let's get into the hacking side of things now. The idea around ethical hacking. Let's talk a little bit about what it means to be an ethical hacker. An ethical hacker is someone who does not try to hack into a system that they do not have permission to hack into and that they do not own, and or that they do not own, right? So if I were to have a computer sitting next to me here and I hacked into it, that'd be fine because it's mine and I own it. You should never hack into something that you do not have the express permission of the owner to access. And you should never don't try to break into things that aren't yours. Don't try to steal information, all that legal stuff. Don't be a criminal. And so how are we going to hack? How can we possibly hack? Well, how we can hack is through a software called Hack the Box. There are other softwares out there. I'm personally using Hack the Box because I think it is the most fun. It's very much so like a game, but there's lots of resources out there. And so let's get into this a little bit. The main purpose of this video is going to be to introduce myself, but not so much to get into hacking quite yet, but we'll kind of get into it a little bit. So you have these terms okay, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's open up this. This is called Oracle's VM VirtualBox. And you can run any type of OS on here. OS meaning operating system. So operating system that you might be familiar with is Windows. Windows is an operating system, or Apple's Mac system. I personally don't use Apple, so I'm not sure if you can run a virtual machine. Well, you can run a virtual machine on a Windows computer, on an Apple computer, but I'm not sure if you can run Apple's OS, their operating system, on a virtual machine. Not sure. Never tried. Probably never will come across it, but who knows. I am running Kali Linux. Linux is an operating system. This one is by Kali, and there's another one called Parrot Security. And I've used them in the past for this, but I really like Kali Linux. So let's get into it. So basically, if you guys want, I can make a video about how to do this whole thing, how to install virtual machine and then install a operating system onto it. They often crash. They're very temperamental, but it is what it is. So I have a lot of experience installing them at this point because I've had to do it so many times after they crash. But all right, let's launch Kali Linux here. I really like Kali Linux because its layout is awesome. Yeah, so it's restoring my virtual machine now. So let's let it do that. But I really like it because it looks really clean. It's pretty user-friendly. Parrot Security is good, but I found that it crashed all the time. But I haven't had as much issue with Kali Linux. So that's why I've been using it. Let's just move this off. Ooh, can I? Ooh, maybe not. Let's move this off screen for now because we don't really need to see its loading page. And I'm going to get rid of this because in my last stream I learned that the little window right here will show passwords. I did not accidentally leak out any of my passwords, but I double checked and I was like, yep, it shows it. So let's not do that. Let's just move it off screen and minimize it altogether. Again, there's lots of things to be aware of when streaming, including little things like that. Someone might be savvy enough to take advantage of that. So what do we've got here? This is the terminal. A virtual machine is essentially like a fake computer that's on top of your computer. And why would we want that? Well, we want that because it allows security, an extra wall between your actual data, your actual computer, and like someone trying to hack into your computer. So if I take actions through this, I'm trying to hack into Hack the Box, and so I'm trying to hack into a Hack the Box machine. At the same time, I might be making myself vulnerable. So someone might be trying to reverse hack me and get into my machine, and if I'm doing it from my actual computer, boom, they've got all my personal files, or they could have all my personal files. But if I'm doing it from here, I don't want to say that it's impossible, but it's very unlikely they'll be able to get to my actual kernel or root or computer. All those things are synonymous in cybersecurity and computer science lingo. Kernel, root, all that stuff. My actual data. So it does this by taking... Let's talk about memory for a little bit. You have these memory addresses, and essentially they're just little numbers, and you can picture them one on top of each other, stacked on top of each other. Let's see if we can pull up, let's get really educational with this. Visual for computer memory. Let's see if the internet has any good options here. Yeah, okay, well, there's the physical things, but this one's not bad. I like this one, so we'll go with this, right? Hopefully that image kind of loads a bit better and becomes a little less, it doesn't look like it's going to. I was hoping it would not be so gray. But that's okay, we can use this still, because we're only going to be looking at it for a minute, so bear with me. Let's pretend like, well, do I like that? Let's see, let's maybe go with visual for computers, stack. There we go. Let's see if there's any good things. Yeah, okay. So, right, this is decent. So you can think of your memory as having these different bins, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So, and essentially we don't have to worry about what this is doing exactly, but it's saying we're pushing, and then we're popping. So basically what that means is we've stored a 1 here. Not actually, this is just an index. It's saying 1, but really it's just bin 1. That has a number associated with it in your machine. And then we push on another thing. Let's say we save an image. We save a photo of a cat. That goes on top of this, and then that goes on top of the next thing, and so on and so forth. And that's a really layman's term way of talking about memory. But pictures are 1,000 million bajillion words when it comes to computer science. It's so hard to picture these things, so it's important to put them into layman's terms for yourself and for others, and to think about them in terms like this. Now, a pop is just saying we're going to remove that. It's kind of like saying delete, trash, whatever, we're done with this. This is essentially the same as a queue. There's a lot of different ways to talk about memory. Let's see if this one's classic compute, ROM. Yeah, that's not super useful right now, but here's another good graphic. This is kind of how things might be executed. It's telling you to return something there, data, right? So let's keep this and that other thing in mind briefly. So what our virtual machine is doing is it's saying, okay, our computer normally has access to all this memory. Let's allocate this portion right here to being a fake computer, to being a computer on top of our computer. And let's put right there where that black line is, and that black line, obviously that's not the intention of this image, is to talk about how virtual machines work, but we're going to pretend like it is. Let's put a big solid security gate there, and let's make it nearly impossible for someone to access data above or below that, basically outside of what we want them to. That's essentially what a virtual machine does. Cool. So now that we've got the idea of what this whole thing is, I can customize this just like a normal computer. I could put my own background. I could do whatever I wanted. I really don't waste my time with it because they crash sometimes, and I've just been burned too many times. But I know some people who like to use their virtual machines as their main operating system. So even though they have their actual computer, they will always function out of this. And the reason is added security, like I said, and how I explained it a minute ago. If this is not making any sense, please ask questions. Please let me know. But that's kind of the rundown. So what are we going to be using this for? We're going to be doing the Hack the Box challenge, like I said, and boom, I'm already logged in because I logged in during my last stream a few minutes ago, and let's get into this. This is Hack the Box. Hack the Box is essentially a gamified way of learning penetration testing or pen testing, and it's really awesome. I love it. It's like a puzzle you're trying to get through, but it also has a ton of resources for you. It's got the Academy, where you can learn about cybersecurity and get training on it, yeah, that's an awesome thing. It tracks your progress. It's got all these different machines. So let's kind of go into what this looks like and what this is all about. So when you first start a Hack the Box challenge, let me back up. When you first start Hack the Box, you're going to go to starting point. But even before that, the cool thing about this is to start one of these, you actually have to hack into their website. And again, this is all perfectly legal because the point of this website is to allow you to do that. They've given us the permission to do that. We're not breaking into any government official website or any we're not hacking into Facebook or anything that we don't have permission to. And why this is useful is because there's a lot of careers and a lot of companies that will do this for private companies or government organizations, et cetera, et cetera. They'll come in and they'll try to see if they can find any exploits or any bugs that they can take advantage of to bog things down for the company or the organization, make it difficult for them, use ransomware, malware, whatever. If there's a lock that's been created on this planet, there's a key to fit it, even if there was not supposed to be. You can always try to pick a lock. And usually you will eventually find a way. And that's essentially what hacking is. So there are private companies out there that will do this. They will get hired by, let's say Facebook. Facebook probably has their own dedicated red team, blue team hacking organization. But let's say they bring in Hayes Black Incorporated. And I try to get into their system, and then once I do, I would go and report the bugs I found, and they'd pay me for them. If I was a black hat hacker and not a white hat hacker, a white hat hacker is someone who is hired by or does the ethical thing and hands over information if they accidentally come across a bug or a exploit. A black hat would take advantage of that and tie up, let's say, the East Coast oil pipelines that feed the East Coast, like we saw this last year, or malware that ransomware that locks your grandfather out of his photos of all of his kids and grandkids until he pays ridiculous amounts of money or whatever. That's a black hat hacker, and so we don't want to be that. We want to be an ethical hacker. And ultimately, if you put this information to use in a illegal way, that is entirely on you. I am not telling you to do that. I am saying be the white hat hacker, be ethical. If you come across an exploit accidentally, report it to the company, do the right thing, and don't try to break into things that don't belong to you. But yeah, so what does this look like? So they've asked us to hack into their page, and we do that. And when we show proof that we actually did that, they will send us an invite to make a profile. So it's not like you can just go out to this site and sign up like you would at Facebook or MySpace or Twitter or TikTok or whatever. You actually have to try to hack your way in, and that is really fun. It's not the most difficult thing, but it is tricky. I came across a lot of things that I had no experience in before. Luckily, I was working with a team member, and we both kind of, between our shared knowledge, were able to figure it out and get into Hack the Box. And so, and we learned a lot, and that's the whole point. We learned about things we both never had experience in, and we got in and were able to set up our accounts. So once you get in, and once you set up your account, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to starting point. So now starting point, let's see how quickly it loads here. There we go. It's loading. Okay, so starting point has all these old machines, and these machines are basically essentially like virtual machines, like I just explained. They are fake computers, fake websites, fake servers, what have you, right? They're fake computers, and we want to try to hack them, hence the name Hack the Box. The box being the machine, the box being equivalent to the computer, the server, the website, etc. Right? So all of these, as you can see, have a check mark next to them because these are the three that I've done. If we click on vaccine here, we can see that, system own. So I own this system. I got to the flag. I submitted the flag. And the flag is essentially just showing that I got far enough into this machine to show, yes, I successfully hacked it. And by that, I mean I got probably, on this machine, I think the point was to get into the Unix terminal and essentially get down to get to a point where I could escalate my privileges to basically be the admin of the machine, make it look like I was the admin, and able to, at that point, I could run any software I wanted on it. I could update software, install software, uninstall software, do basically whatever I want into it. But how they set these up is essentially you hack into the machine and boom, we find the flag, and the flag just proves to hack the box that I actually did it, that I actually beat the level, right? And what I would do is I would get the flag and I would submit the flag here, and there we go. I found this machine actually kind of challenging, even though it says very easy, not because of the necessarily because of the machine itself, but because it kept crashing. And I was very frustrated with it. It took me way longer than I think it should, but that's just because it was crashing, and I know other people kept having experiences with that too. But that's personally why I want to make this channel, is because I want to show people how to get through these things, get through these machines, these puzzles, and come out the other side. But one of the nice things about the starting point machines is they often have these walkthroughs, and what these walkthroughs are essentially, you know, we're going to open this. Yeah, actually, we're going to open it with Firefox. It's a walkthrough. It's just what it sounds like. The enumeration step, where you start to see if you can get access to the server or the IP address at all, you know, and then you get a foothold, and from the foothold you try to figure out what your privileges are, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm not the admin, I'm not God of this machine, so what am I? Okay, how do I get to be God of this machine? How do I get to be admin? And we try to get all the way through there. Now, the thing about the walkthrough is it doesn't always take you all the way there. Oftentimes it gets you 99% of the way there, and you have to still try to figure out, how am I going to find the flag? And I was getting stuck on this last little part right through like here. Basically, it kept crashing, which meant I had to go and restart a lot of these steps because the machine kept crashing. But usually they don't. A lot of the times they stay on, but if that does happen, you can click reset machine, and everybody who's using this current machine will vote on whether they want it to reset or not, if they're at a good like pausing point to let the machine reset, and it does so automatically and you don't really have to do anything. But I'm not going to click reset because there's 654 people using this machine right now, and I don't want to mess anything up for any of them when I don't have to. So you know, lots of people, all these people have rated the machine what they think it has, or they've completed it. Some of them haven't rated it, but this person rated it a 50. These people rated it an 80. You know, so you get some feedback there. If we go back to the machines here, yeah, we'll watch that later, or we won't ever watch it. Actually, we want to go back to starting point. So on the purpose of this channel, I hope to accomplish going through these machines as an educational background, and to refresh my own skills, as well as help people, you know, basically make a video walkthrough of these, and help people get through these. Oops, it still says that I'm active on this machine, and I don't have to be, so let's, not that it matters that much, but might as well log off, leave machine. There we go. So essentially what this is going to do is, what we're going to do here is make a video walkthrough, and I'll be saving these walkthroughs to my Twitch stream channel, to my channel. Sorry, it's getting late. I've done 2 of these streams already, so I'm a little all over the place. And I will also be uploading them to YouTube for people to look back on and get help. And, you know, there are other people who do similar things on YouTube, as far as I can tell. But each time, even if 2 people are working on the same machine, they are going to run into different problems. They're going to run into slightly different issues on their attempt to get in. So, you know, you can never have, I noticed when I was trying to get through this, I looked up a video on how to get past a certain issue I was having, and the video helped, and then I got stuck immediately on another part right after that, and they got stuck in the video on a completely different part 2 seconds after that. But I didn't, and they did, and so they couldn't help me with my issue anymore. So there's always more reasons to add to the community of knowledge here, the wealth of knowledge for the community. All right, so I will be trying to go back through and do some of these. I think I'm going to do this one first because it is my most recent that I've finished, and I will post that, so it'll be the easiest one for me, and then I'll go back and make videos about these ones, and then I think sometimes I am going to do these ahead of time and then go back through them again, but sometimes I'll just do them live, and we'll try a machine that I've never tried before and just see how far we can get with it. And sometimes, we might be here and we might be here for like an hour or two and we might get it done in that hour or two, and other times we might have to stop the stream and I'll come back to it the next day or the next time I feel like jumping on stream, and we'll get it done then, because sometimes these can take a very long time. These ones I'll say very easy because they are your starting points. They are the machines meant to help people who have no idea what they're doing learn about what to do. And then if you go here, not on starting points, again, watch later, you can see easy, 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 medium, medium, hard, insane, right? So everybody who has accomplished this machine has rated it as being hard to very hard to insane. So that's what's nice about this, is you can really grow and learn. You can start off super easy and grow to the medium and grow to the hard. And these machines are always getting updated. They're always adding new ones for you to challenge your skills and learn more from. But if we see here, they've got like a challenge page, active challenges. Do you want to learn about hardware? Do you want to try to figure, do you want to do machines that are going to teach you a lot about the hardware sides of things, or the crypto, or the PWN, or the web, like website stuff, all this stuff. And that's what's kind of nice, is they have these different categories. Let's see here. And the cool thing about this is you can do it with a team. I personally, when I was in my semester, I had a friend that I worked on it with, and that was really awesome. This time I'm going to be going a bit more solo, except for my community that I hope to build here on Twitch, and hopefully you guys can help me with some of these machines, and we can all learn together. That'd be really awesome. But they also, I'm trying to find it. I know that they have it somewhere. They have the Academy side of Hack the Box. Maybe if we go back to the main page. Yeah, so we can go to the Academy. I personally haven't messed around with this too much. But, okay, so this is going to be where you can learn more about, you can learn like more of like as if you were to go to Skillshare or Masterclass or like YouTube and try to learn about specific things in cybersecurity. That's what this is going to be about. And I haven't messed with it too much. I might mess with it a little later and see what it's all about more in depth, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, cracking passwords with Hashcat. So it teaches you about this software called Hashcat that can help you crack passwords, because again, passwords are encrypted. Network enumeration with Nmap. Nmap is something we will use a lot, or at least that's what it seems like so far as I've done cybersecurity. This whole time that I've been doing it, I've used Nmap a lot, and I'll break down what these things do. I'll learn more about what these things do too as we go, and it'll be pretty exciting. JavaScript, defuscation, I have no idea how to pronounce that word. I'm sorry. I am a mathematician and computer scientist. I am not a linguist. Well, I am a hobbyist in linguistics, but not not a scholar of it. Anyway, so secure coding 101. So secure coding with JavaScript. I don't know JavaScript. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but I haven't ever messed with it far enough to really say I know it. But what this is going to do is it's probably, what I imagine, is going to teach you, let's see, learn how to improve your JavaScript code security through code review. So essentially, like, I did things like this when I was in my undergrad that were, I would code up something in C++, and then my, TA, my teaching assistant person who was underneath my professor, or even sometimes my professor, would interview me about my code and ask me like, hey, look, the way you did this is either good or bad as far as security goes. Because when it comes down to security, sometimes the exploit is going to be in how the code was written, how you wrote your code. Did I accidentally write code that would allow someone, a bad actor, access to memory and storage that they're not supposed to have? And again, I don't think I have that anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think I do, but that's okay. That little nice diagram I had of visualization for computer memory, right? So if we go here, let's kind of talk about cache and stack and buffer overflow briefly and all that stuff. This is not the best one. Oh yeah, because I did stack last time. So stack, what is a stack? What is your stack? Because everybody's computer has a stack and a cache and all that. Yeah, let's go back to this guy. This is not, let's pretend all these things are blank and it's just numbered up and down the sides. You know, it's just data, right? Stack origin, stack pointer. So essentially, real quick, your stack origin, this was the first thing in our stack. This is where we currently are telling our computer to look. We're telling it to look right here. But okay, and then available stack space. So your memory kind of works like this. Your memory works by adding things to the stack. So I save a photo of a kitten, it goes right here. I save a photo of a dog, it goes right there. I save a photo of a kitten and a dog fighting, it goes right there. Now my pointer is pointing right here. I tell my computer, okay, delete the previous thing, so it goes back to this point, and so on. And these work with everything on your computer, from what software you install to what OS you're operating on, all that stuff. And you have different types of memory, but we won't get into that right now because that's not the purpose of this video. But let's say we have memory outside of this diagram, right, that is supposed to only be accessible to the computer. Now, the reason we want that is because we that memory is going to be allocated for running code that only the computer can run. Essentially, like, okay, what's a good way for me to put this? It's essentially like saying this memory is what helps our computer operate. It has special permissions. It can get to places that, you know, even the user as admin can't necessarily get to. Now, we don't want to accidentally override that, right? Like, we don't want to save a photo of our cat here thinking we're saving it there and accidentally save it above there and overwrite something super crucial to the functionality of the computer. Now, why is that relevant to hacking? Let's say I accidentally write code that allowed someone to get to that memory. Now, what that's going to do is basically allow them to use my computer however they want. They can hold it ransom. They can delete everything on the stack. They can upload whatever they want. They own the computer, and that is essentially what let's see what it means when we get this message. Where is it? Load, please. There we go. When we get this message, system own. That means that I've gotten far enough that I can do whatever I want on this system. I can install things, uninstall, upload, reinstall, delete everything, lock everyone out of it, whatever I wanted to do, right? So you typically have a buffer where your buffer is above this memory and it acts as a cushion. It's like essentially like a stored amount of data that makes it so that we can't accidentally override the system operating data and all the crucial goody stuff that a hacker might want to take advantage of to gain access to the rest of this stuff. And that's not what every hacker's out to do. Sometimes we just care about getting to admin level of permissions and allowing ourselves to be essentially act as if we were the original owner of the server or the computer and be like, yep, I'm the boss. I'm the guy in charge here. So I'm going to steal all the passwords off this hard drive because for some reason the user accidentally saved all their passwords to the desktop under a file that said passwords, please steal. And I'm going to take those passwords and I see that they're affiliated with their Facebook, their email, their bank account, yada, 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 right? They're really bad. These people are really bad about securing their data. So with a buffer, it allows us to keep a person from being able to access that super sensitive data up above in our cache. And like, for example, Microsoft had an issue recently where they... someone found, ethically, I should mention, found an exploit for their printer role. Essentially, like when you send something to print over Wi-Fi, there's a loophole or a bug in Microsoft's system that allows people to gain access to that computer's cache by doing what's known as a buffer overflow attack. Basically meaning they override the buffer. There was not enough of a buffer, or there wasn't, or sorry, not that there wasn't enough of a buffer, that the buffer was not secure. It's late, so I'm blanking, but essentially it means like they were able to crack the buffer. I'll go more into that another time. It is very late here, so I'm kind of like, and this is the second time I've talked about all this, so I'm fading, so bear with me. I do, believe it or not, know what I'm talking about a little bit. Not all knowing, but I have a bit of experience, so I will go back over that again another time as I'm losing my voice here. Awesome. Glad to know that I've talked myself hoarse now too. So essentially, back to Microsoft, they have an exploit where the attacker can attack the stack or attack the cache, really whatever they want. Essentially, they can act as the owner of the computer. Let's talk about it in those terms, by doing a buffer overflow attack. Basically, they override the buffer and now they own the machine. And this was found ethically as a team, actually. I forget which university or which team did it, but they found it, and they were going to enter it in a hackathon or a hacking challenge and win the prize, most likely, because that's awesome that they found this exploit. And then they were going to turn over their findings to Microsoft, which is what an ethical hacker does. But I think what happened, these guys are great. They're super smart at computer science stuff, enough to do that, right? But they accidentally, I believe, published it to their GitHub early. And GitHub is basically like a database online for coding and computer science people, essentially. So it's basically like posting it to Facebook, but for computer science people. And it caused a lot of issues for Microsoft. Or Windows. Yeah, no, Microsoft. Yeah, that's it. Microsoft. Same, whatever. So that was an issue, and I haven't read up on it much recently, so I don't know if it's been fixed. I do know within a few hours Microsoft tried patching the issue, rolling out a patch that would help fix the problem, and that is why it's important to accept patches and accept software updates, because most of the time they work, but unfortunately, last I heard, their recent patch did not work. They might have rolled out a new one. I need to look into it more, but that's essentially why we care about this stuff. Because even companies like Microsoft, if, like I said earlier, if you have created a lock and you've created a key for that lock, someone's going to be able to find an imitation of that key or create one or make a good enough attempt or whatever, or they're going to find a way to just break the lock somehow. There's always a way to get after something behind what is supposed to be secured, and it's kind of like fighting a multi-headed dragon, and you just keep chopping off heads and hoping that no one finds the next vulnerability for a while. And that's what's fun about it. It's an ongoing challenge. It's an ongoing puzzle, and there's always more to learn. So yeah. Well, I think overall let me just confer with my notes here, that's everything that I want to talk about. I hope that this live stream has saved and I can upload it to my Twitch and my YouTube. But if not, we'll try again tomorrow. I'm talking myself hoarse here. So I think we're going to call it a day. I hope everybody who's tuned in has found something enjoyable about this chat. And I can't wait to learn more about Twitch. I would like to say I want to grow in the hacking space. One more time I'll say I want to grow in the hacking space. I want to educate people about hacking. I want to do a lot of things like this. But ultimately, I also don't mind branching out into other things like other video games, and we'll just see if that happens. But really, I just want to build a community here, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully people can learn. Hopefully people can help me learn, and we can just see where it all goes. And I'm going to keep learning about Twitch because I just started literally today. This is my second stream ever on Twitch. And my first one was about 2 hours ago or so, hour and a half ago. And I'm learning so much, and I'm trying to get it set up to look nice and be a nice channel and a nice community for everybody to get involved with. So if you guys have any tips, any tricks, any advice about hacking, about Twitch, about streaming, about how you thought this stream went, anything like that, please let me know, because I'd love to learn and hear about your guys' experience so far with my first couple streams here and with your experience on Twitch. And I hope this has been enjoyable to some degree for you, and I hope to see you guys again. So thanks for tuning in. My next stream will probably, I'm going to try to do them at least once a week. I probably Sundays, but we'll see. And I might stream more than that, but bare minimum, I'm going to do it once a week, I think. That's a good starting point, and I think it's going to be Sundays. I'll keep trying to update my schedule on Twitch. There's a feature on there that allows you to look at my schedule. Still kind of figuring out how that looks, but just tune back in, check back in, and you will see it. And I will see you guys all soon. I think I'm going to do my next stream again sometime this week, though, so there might be more than one official stream this week. But we'll just see. So check back in. I'll try to keep you guys all updated with that. It's really going to depend on how easy it is for me to learn how to do all this stuff as I go. So thank you so much for stopping in. I really, 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 really awesome of you guys. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will catch you guys all later. So thank you, and see you all later. Bye.